She'll just be a couple minutes late.
How are you? Good. Yes. Okay, you got it. Yeah. Welcome to Health, Social, Educational, and Environmental Committee meeting. Please stand for the pledge. Legislator Elmer, can you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Legislator Elner,
Here.
Legislator Russo, Chairwoman Adonisio.
Present. Moving on to number 3 is a discussion and an update. We have Commissioner of Social Services, Sara Servadio.
Good evening.
How are you? And we have an update on the programs that have been affected by the federal government shutdown, which I understand now is over.
It is over, yes. We included, and Marla Baylor's our director of our Child Advocacy Center, asked her to come tonight because we did have a significant cut in funding for the CAC. So we thought we would start with that. The director of the Women's Resource Center, Piaget, is also here because the funding does ultimately negatively affect programming. So,
Would you like to come up with you? Or you want to do separate? Do you want to come up?
If it's necessary.
Here's a chair right here. You can, you can.
Yeah, she'll be here in a minute.
Oh,
so she's on this.
I'll get one.
Oh, yeah, she's on the committee.
Oh, here.
Did I just hit you? I'm sorry.
Good evening. How are you?
So we thought Marla would just give a very brief update on what we're looking at, and we'll go from there.
Hi, thank you for this opportunity. So first, just to give you a little background. So the Office of Victim Services funds programs on a 3-year cycle. And their funding typically makes up about 75% of the Child Advocacy Center's budget. So earlier this year, we completed the full competitive bidding process for the 2025-2028 award, and we were very successful. We received just over $610,000, which was an increase of about $200,000 from our prior contract. And we proceeded to build our program budget, staffing plan, and ways to meet our accreditation requirements around that confirmed award. And 2 weeks ago, which was 2 weeks into the new contract period, we received an email from the OVS notifying all providers that these new awards were being rescinded. And this was due to a decision by the state comptroller based on one program's appeal of the application process. So our funding was reverted to the previous year's level for our current contract year, leaving a budget gap of about $200,000. So, we went back and tightened up the budget, but we still have a shortfall of about $116,000, and this shortfall really directs the core services that protect children in crisis. So our plan was to partner with the Women's Resource Center to expand our forensic interviewing capacity, our on-site mental health services, having 3 rotating clinicians, and that would ensure immediate support and continuity of care. So without this funding, we'll really need to scale back on our therapy hours and delay access to trauma treatment for the families that really need it at the time when they need it most. So this rescinded award also jeopardizes our ability to upgrade our forensic interviewing equipment and software. That was technology that was needed for recording accuracy and chain of custody. So this is also part of our reaccreditation process. So by not being able to do this, it would really we would really be falling behind. So there is some statewide advocacy underway with different coalitions urging the governor to restore funding. But while the state resolves the crisis, the Putnam County children cannot be the ones to absorb the impact. So tonight we're just requesting that the necessary funding to maintain our mental health services and our forensic interviewing capacity is provided. So, this investment would ensure continuity of care, and it would also just safeguard our most vulnerable victims.
So you're asking for 116,000?
Just over 116, yeah.
We don't know what else to do. I mean, at this point, we rely heavily on our partnership with them. 3 clinicians is a lot, and we will see wait lists as a result of this if we're not able to fund the positions.
Well, I would support that. I really think that's very necessary. We can't have children or anybody suffering here in Putnam County. Yes.
You know, I applaud the fact that you tried to cut the 116, but I'd rather see you get 100% of the funding. Right? Is 200 the number that you need to maintain services?
Was it 175?
Well,
200.
that's the difference in the grant. It was just over 200,000.
So 200 would make things a lot.
Well, I think that's a conversation that Piaget and I should have, because with our cut, he also got a little bit more funding from, so we're
Okay.
trying to offset each other and really partnering together. I can definitely work those numbers with Piaget, and we can kind of come up with a firm.
Okay, so the 116 would bring you to a level.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I think 116 would be enough.
Don't be bashful. I mean, because the other part of this is if the grant does come through, it can be structured so that it'll go back to the general fund. But with everything
Yeah,
that's
I think
happening
we're
with
also-
mental health right now, let's do this right. These are very, very important programs, and we still don't have, I don't see Commissioner Carlin, we don't have the results of the audit, but I have a sneaky suspicion that we have some serious funding coming back to us. So let's put it to good use instead of hoarding it.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Any other questions?
I did send a letter around to the legislature, to my colleagues in the legislature. I'm hoping each and every one of you signed on to that letter from the CAC.
Thank you.
That's due this week? Or was it last
It
week?
was due last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday, yeah. I sent that last week. It was my understanding that the Women's Resource Center also lost some funding. You were able to recover some of that?
So, what occurred really destabilized victim service providers throughout the state of New York. We initially competed for this award, and we received $300,000 in a cut. But after they rescinded the award and reverted to the old contract, we got the $300,000 back, theoretically, because the grant had already started October 1st, and we were informed on October 31st that we were getting this additional funding. And most importantly, we're unable to make budget amendments until next March. So essentially, for the first 6 months of this contract, we're sort of stuck in the lines that we had previously, which we had already changed because we received a reduction in $300,000. So we had already laid staff off, and now we have this surplus, but we're unable to fully utilize it because we can't make a budget amendments until March, 6 months in the contract. So what is going on with Office of Victim Services and the State Comptroller's Office has really destabilized our programs. We're also concerned about the future because it seems like the writing is on the wall that we are going to sustain some cuts. And it's just unreasonable for us to hire staff believing that our funding levels are going to be at the level that they are now in the future when we have to bid in a few months again. So we really appreciate the support of our community. This is reflective of the systemic nature of the work we do, especially at the Women's Resource Center, being a debtor to the state and providing services up front and then hoping that we'll be reimbursed in the end. But we really appreciate your support, and our partnership with the CAC is making a difference. It is keeping our community safe, and just today we were working on a really terrible case together. So this does impact our community significantly.
Of course.
Just to follow up and just to say that I'm fully supportive of whatever funding we can do to help make up the difference. I'm on the advisory board of the CAC. I think what you do there is amazing, and we need more mental health in this community, not less. So I think if there's a way for us to find a way to help make that gap, I think I'm in favor of it.
Thank you.
I'd like to better understand what happened with the grant, and maybe that's an offline conversation. I don't get it. It doesn't seem to be handed down from the federal government. This is handed down from the state government at this point. So I hadn't heard about this previously. A question I have is, are we working with the administration? What's their comments about this, and have they advocated to our state partners on this? Are we reaching out to them, and how can we help better advocate through our...
Absolutely, and so have Marla and Piaget. So all of our elected officials were contacted outside of Putnam County in the last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And conversations have already taken place with one
State
of them.
leaders.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I know how you guys work. I know, like, sometimes you guys yourselves as directors and commissioners are on the front lines of this and responding personally to these really tough cases on top of taking care of these really challenging fiscal crisis. So, I mean, I'm happy to do whatever we can to make this whole. And I would like to help advocate on the state level and use those resources that I have as well. So
Thank you.
whatever we can do.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone from the audience? Please come up. Hello.
Hello. Ray Harris, Carmel Hamlet. Just wanted to follow up on my comments last week, because last week I had mentioned to you guys that there's been a lot of talk amongst our elected officials in this county about the mental health crisis. And I'm pleased to hear what I'm hearing from you guys, which is we're going to acknowledge that, because these are the real pitfalls and where some of the progress that we could be making can fall through the cracks if we don't step up when these unexpected issues come about. But one thing I would just say is, fiscally speaking, it shouldn't just be seen as trying to spend money in order to make up for a shortfall and then be afraid that we're spending money that may not utilize a return. I mean, estimates show these are those types of investments that I've come up before you guys numerous times to say that we could see a 10 to 20% annualized return in terms of cost savings in other areas, soft savings, by spending this money. So if we invest this money in this type of a cause, mental health crisis intervention, especially for children, typically yields around a 10 to 20% return on that investment in the form of dramatically less ER visits, psychiatric visits being down, all these other hard costs to working families who have to kind of deal with the outcome if we don't step up. So this type of investment is the exact type of investment we should be making, because it's a smart investment that fiscally actually saves working families money and is good conservatively in the long run. So just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's another puzzle piece here, and I know we, the SNAP program and the HEAP program and child care funding, where are we as far as that is concerned?
I'm sorry, anything else for these two?
Oh, okay,
Because then
sorry.
I'm going to bring up
That's okay,
Kristen.
that's after.
Oh,
We
okay.
have to-
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, okay, so we need to, we can't do anything right now. So we have to discuss where we got, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so SNAP and HEAP update and a daycare update. HEAP remains on a hold until further notice. So the HEAP season was supposed to originally open November 3rd. It was pushed off till today, and there is no HEAP to be had as of today. So we are in code blue temperatures, and we have been all weekend. We have had a few constituents reach out to the office today. At this point, we are connecting them directly to Putnam CAP because they have the ability to, they have a very small pot of money that they can help people in this situation right now. But there's daily social service commissioner calls, and we got nothing today on HEAP, unfortunately. So as a reminder, last year we assisted about 900 families in Putnam County, totaling about $1 million. So we would expect those numbers or more this year.
Yeah, it's very important, and that's a big problem. This is the first time that we've
Yes.
had this issue, yeah. Yes. I just want to say, anyone from the committee? Liz Montgomery.
The $150,000 allocation that we made last week to address food insecurity, did any of that go to CAP? No. Was that, some of that
Yes,
went to CAP?
some of it went to CAP, yes.
So, and that was intended for food
Just food.
security?
Just food, yeah.
Because we do have an established contract with CAP, and that is the mechanism by which we can get HEAP resources to those that can't get HEAP right now. Can we do that through CAP, similarly to the way we did it with the food? Like, you know, we can't go out and buy food vouchers from oil companies.
Right, yeah, and that was, we have had a few conversations about that, and we will continue to have those conversations, but ideally, that would be who we would utilize, because it would be difficult for us. There's so many different oil companies, you know, the electric companies would be easier, because there's not that many.
And they're bigger.
And they're bigger, yeah, so CAP
On the
already
public
has those.
utilities too, and we should be putting pressure on them now anyway. But,
And that is being done
great.
on the state side.
Do we need to make an allocation to CAP for HEAP?
We're still, you know, when we are talking about the money that was designated for food insecurity, if some of it can be used for that, I know it wasn't initially intended for that, but we might need to pivot a little bit.
I don't think there were restrictions for the line item. It was intended for CAP for them. It didn't specify. So if we can, yeah, if we need to make another allocation for HEAP, I'd be happy to propose
Great.
that at some point.
You're
and-
saying, oh, I'm sorry, are you finished?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
finished, thanks.
You're saying $1 million,
It was about,
in a
12,
time frame, what is it,
1.2?
about 5 months? Is that like a 5-month time frame?
Yeah, right about.
November to March.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and that's $1 million, so you would probably need for 1 month, about 200. Mm-hmm.
I think that, so similar to what we were doing the last few weeks with contacting people on SNAP benefits, we're doing the same thing for people that we assisted last year for HEAP. So we're just trying to collect data right now. Obviously, if it's an emergent situation, we will address it somehow. We will move things around internally. If CAP can't assist, we will not let somebody stay in their home with freezing temperatures. You have our word on that, but I think that we need to still get some more information ourselves within our own department before I'm comfortable saying, even acknowledging an amount, so.
You would get back to us on that then?
Yeah, and I can do that in email form.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we, this way we know, because we need to stay on top of that,
Yeah.
that's very important.
We have the audit meeting,
Yes.
and then we have the full on the 2nd.
Okay.
The audit meeting's on the 20th.
Because we, even if it's for the month, we could just get you, you know, over that little battle that we have right now, because hopefully things will get better. Hoping, at the house maybe.
Yes.
Sorry, you guys have a very stressful job
very
right
stressful.
now, thank you.
It has been stressful, but SNAP is, everybody in Putnam County received their November SNAP benefits, so we're very happy about that. Just taking a look at the allocation to the provider agencies, to take a look at what they put out over the last month during the crisis, so we're working with them on that.
Any other questions, yes.
More just a little comment is, if we're in a weather scenario where there's extended cold and people have to leave their homes, unless we, in addition to the just well-being of the people, if we're in a position where pipes start freezing and start bursting, we're gonna create considerably more problems. So this is something that, whether it's special meetings are necessary, this has to be addressed just as soon as you guys feel it's necessary.
Absolutely. And that has started, unfortunately, the frozen pipes.
Safety.
Yeah.
Anyone else, just before you move on to it,
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, anyone else have any questions? Anybody from the audience have any questions? Okay.
Daycare. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so we just touched briefly on the daycare subsidy. There was a question, I believe, at the last meeting on why Putnam County is not on a wait list versus a denial, which is what we are. And I just wanted to talk about that very briefly. So our decision to go to a denial versus a wait list is simply our ability to stay on top of it. So we have to reassess every case every 30 days. So if we have a wait list of 80 families, we would have to re-examine that case every single month. And by doing that, we have to reach out to the families, and we don't want to give them a false sense of hope. And that really is our decision, what we decided to do versus the wait list. Most counties are in denial as well. We have no idea when funding will be coming down again, do we?
No. This year, we received an additional $250,000 allocation that could be used when we exhausted our rollover from prior years and the current allocation, but we fortunately didn't have to tap into that. We're hoping that that will come down again this cycle.
Yeah, so we continue to serve specific populations with the subsidy. So the most vulnerable are still receiving it. I just wanted to make that clear.
Questions? Any legislators?
Did you already tell us how many denials there were? How many denials have there been?
Since we had to go to denials?
Since September 15th. It comes up as the cases are being recertified. So in addition to new cases coming in, I
So
don't.
so it's existing and new, but I can get you that number.
I don't even know if I
You don't want to know, you
No,
don't
I
want to
don't
know the
wanna
number,
know.
but I will get you the number.
can.
Existing and
Anyone from the public? Any comments, questions on this topic?
I have a house in the yard.
the next few agenda items are much lighter.
They're lighter. We have a lot of problems here. Okay. So moving on into the next. We are going to move on to number 4. So we have a fund transfer, 25T 412, which is the social services to cover projected costs through the year end. Just quickly?
Yes, so if I may, 4, 5, 6, and 7
Yes.
are kind of all the same, just
Okay.
wouldn't fit on one
Okay.
sheet of paper.
Right.
So right around this time every year, we'll take a look at what the projections are and spend for all the different types of services. And I think most of these did come up during our budget meetings with the large increases, particularly daycare. The other big driver is the community and special education, which our cases have more than doubled this year. So we do get about a 59% reimbursement from the local school districts for that. And then the other piece that.
That was page 5, I'm talking about the school?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, the last two.
Special education.
And then number 6,
Mhm.
all of that. And then also, there was an increase in safety net as well. So this is just one of the things that we do at the end of the year with our projections, seeing where we came in lower than we anticipated, and instead of asking to go to contingency, we'll just move funds around to not have any fiscal impact.
Basically housekeeping,
Yes.
and just so everyone's aware, it's zero fiscal impact on 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yes.
So I'm gonna make a motion to approve, fund transfer 25T412, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, I'm gonna make a motion to approve fund transfer 25T413. Do I have a second? Wait, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Such motion seconded. Number 6 is also an approval for fund transfer 25T414.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 7 is 25T415. I make a motion to approve. Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to number 8 is a budgetary amendment for social services. Here we're going to talk about the opioid settlement funds, which are coming in dribs and drabs.
Yes, dribs and drabs. So for 2020, this is 2025?
This is
2026. Okay,
awards.
perfect. I know what I'm talking about for once. So we have 5 local agencies that we are awarding for 2026. 6, sorry. Oh, that's right, they're back in. We're continuing our attention on harm reduction, prevention, education, and treatment, marketing, stigma campaigns. So it really is a continuation of what our agencies have been doing for the past 2 years. For 2026, we will be awarding $351,223.
Any questions?
Just a comment. If I can thank you for the allocation, especially for St. Christopher's.
Yes.
You know, a lot of.
We were happy that they were able to get it in again.
Yeah, and I love the resources that we have for prevention and education and outreach, and what I feel lacking in Putnam County is treatment, and St. Christopher's is, one of the best in the country, people say, and it's I often sit in cars with constituents or their kids and go through the process of getting them in, and that's my first call. And I appreciate that there's funding for them, and I hope it continues, and I hope we can find a way to figure out how to get more treatment facilities in Putnam County, especially for women, because this is just for men.
It's true.
Motion to approve. Second. Budgetary amendment 25A112. And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to number 9. This is adjusting mental health state aid levels. It's $21,259. Zero fiscal impact.
So this is pass-through funding that we received from the Office of Mental Health. Routinely, you probably recall seeing these over the course of the year. There's many amendments that come through, just dependent on the revised state aid levels that come down. This is specifically due to supportive housing, so the per bed stipend that's allocated to 3 agencies. So this will be passed on to those agencies.
Right. It's not a lot, 21,000.
Mhm.
Is that enough? Is that?
It's a slight increase to their current rate that they're receiving.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the committee? Any other legislators? Anyone from the public? Okay, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
25A113. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Chairman, we have a FYI is number 19. May we discuss that right now?
Yes. That's for furniture?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yes. Second. Make the motion. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
What number are you discussing?
19, number 19, for
19.
social services, furniture. Let me just get to that page, okay? So we have a fund transfer request.
So currently, we have a little pot of money in our services budget line under furniture that we are looking to appropriate to other units within social services to fit the needs of, a couple different chairs for a waiting area, a new desk for a director replacement, and a filing cabinet. So all remain under the furniture line. It's just more of a housekeeping on where it actually should belong in the budget.
And that's zero fiscal impact. Okay, any questions or comments on that? Item, anything from the public? I'll make a motion to approve fund transfer 25T370. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Good night.
much. Take care of yourself. Yes, thank you for all you do. Number 10 is approval for 25A102. This is the historian to purchase history of Putnam County books. This looks like $250, zero fiscal impact. The cost of the books are $25 each. Okay, any questions or comments on that item? No? Ready for the public? Make a motion to approve. Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 11 is fund transfer, Health Department. This is the early intervention, itinerant services. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Okay, so this is also zero fiscal impact and $40,000. This for evaluations for the early intervention.
There's been a slight increase in children from 215 and 24 to 225 and 25.
Okay.
So that's just, and the next 6, similar to social services, are all housekeeping items. We're just trying to make sure there's money in the account to pay the vendors based on the whole year's outcomes.
Okay, so
And they're all fiscal impact zero.
okay.
So
Right, so we have number 12, this is preschool. Okay, so I can just, would anybody have any questions, any of the items 11 through 16, you said? Yeah.
11 through 16. Yeah.
Does anybody have?
It's just all EI,
Right.
pre-K, and the Early Learning
I see
Center
that.
transfers. That's what it is.
What did I say?
You said number 11 is because it's an increase in children?
Yes.
What is the increase?
It says on 215.
215 to 225. That's for itinerant services. And there's more services going on and the prices go up. It's a combination of things, but it's more kids too.
And it also says New York State increased their rates by 5%
Correct, yeah.
for units billed.
Yep.
So basically both, yeah.
Yeah, combination.
Okay, so I'm going to go through them then, just like I did before, if that's okay. So number 11 is a fund transfer, 25T398, early intervention. For the second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 12 is fund transfer, 25T400, preschool non-employee travel. That's in the amount of $10,000 with zero fiscal impact. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 13 is fund transfer 25T401. This is the district's billing for preschool special ed. Zero fiscal impact, like you said, all of them are zero.
Correct.
And this is the total amount of $120,000. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
14, preschool care at private institution. This is in the amount of $170,000. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
15, budgetary amendment 25A105. This is the Health Department classroom staffing for universal pre-K children to be reimbursed by the Carmel Central School District. These are contracts, and this is the amount of $50,000 and zero fiscal impact. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
16, budgetary amendment 25A106, itinerant services. This is in the amount of $50,000, zero fiscal impact. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
okay, thank you. Number 17, this is solid waste management plan. This is on for approval this evening. Barbara Rosa. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Can you give us a quick overview?
So, I guess the health department should probably do
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
overview of what the
Right,
plan
it's a
is.
secret. Yeah.
Well, the SEQR is a requirement for any plan adoption. If the county would like to consider the plan. The lead agency would be circulated to any involved and interested agencies. The legislature would act as lead agency since you're considering adopting the plan.
Okay. We have the plan in front of us, I'll go through that. Does anybody have any questions on number 17 for the solid waste management plan? Anybody from the committee first? Any other legislators?
Just a thank you for the plan. I mean, it's state mandated. And I know a lot of work goes into it. And I really loved your presentation
Thank
a
you.
few months ago. And yeah, I'm happy that we're doing this.
Thank you.
It's important.
Much needed, very good.
This will be opening up for public comment tomorrow evening
Right.
as well, so for the next 45 days. But we wanted to make sure that we have a plan that's sort of very well informed, especially by the residents as well as elected officials. So looking forward to that process.
Yes. What did they say?
That's what I was gonna say. If you have a public hearing, just gonna make sure everybody
Right.
realizes that there's a public hearing. It's at Smith's campus tomorrow. What time is it tomorrow?
5:30 p.m.
5:30, okay.
And it's, the plan's available on your website.
Yes, the
Yes.
plan is available on the website. The presentation will take place from 5:30, about a half an hour, and then the rest will be for public comment, which will be verbal, online, as well as a phone line at the health department, which will transcribe voicemails to us so that we can make sure that we capture all the voices from our residents.
Very good, thank you.
We've also made the plan available to all the town boards as well as the local libraries as well. So they have a print copy for anyone who can't sort of access it via the internet.
Can I ask one question? Is there, I know I saw food scrap pickup in a couple of towns, just, it's not countywide though, it's just a few towns.
It is not
They have their own program.
Excuse me. The town of Philipstown does currently have a food scrap recycling program that residents can drop off at the Philipstown Recycling Center at the Lane Gate. I believe it's 59 Lane Gate. And then they also have on Kemble Avenue a secondary drop-off location just to expand access to Cold Spring residents. And those are the only towns. Nelsonville is also eligible to use those two facilities as well. The numbers are in the plan. I believe it's about 300 residents that utilize that program. So there is an assessment protocol in the implementation schedule of the plan to evaluate having something countywide.
That's a huge, I mean, that's a huge commitment. I think it's wonderful that Philipstown is doing that. I have compost bin in my backyard from the health department, and just for me to walk to my backyard with a can full of stuff sometimes, it's like, oh my God. So I commend everyone in Philipstown who utilizes the food scrap, because it really is important, and it really does cut down on garbage going into the landfills. And I think it's very commendable, and I would love Carmel to do it, but, you know, baby steps, I guess.
There, if I may comment
Yes.
on that, there are, I don't know if they still exist, but we were able to do that in Philipstown because of a grant opportunity that I think is also available to the county. I don't know if it's available now still, but it was at the time. I mean, I know some counties have a food scrap recycling program themselves, and it'd be great to work toward that at some point, which I think you said you were.
Yes. Are you referring to the NYSERDA grant or the New York State DEC grant?
It was a NYSERDA grant that we got in Philipstown, I believe. It was a while ago, you know, where we were able to hire, I think, the consultant to get it going, and we were able to buy the compost boxes and hand them out. And now they're available for purchase, I think.
Yes.
It's been a while since they established that, so I'm kind of far removed from it now.
That's okay. Yeah, we will be conducting an assessment of the available grants and other funding opportunities that are available to us. And if they are not available to the county, we will be acting as the liaison to notify all municipalities and community organizations so that everyone is aware that there is access.
I mean, the governor just announced in the beginning of October the local government efficiency grants that probably have nothing to do with this, but it's a long shot. Wondering if it's something that we can partner, or not we, but the towns, or if the county wants to.
These are mainly for consolidation.
Yeah, but to consolidate food scrap recycling, just a wild idea. And I know that's probably not even available through that grant, but that would be, there's like $8 million available, I think, for the LG. I don't think, I've never seen a food scrap consolidation plan, but
No.
I'd like that. I'll be driving my garbage over to Carmel. That's not nice. It's funny though.
I think we got to open the discussion on the toll.
I'll stop now.
Any other legislators? Anybody from the public? Any comments or questions on this? No? Okay. Make a
Thank you
motion.
for this.
Any questions?
In other words,
Happy reading.
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's interesting.
Thank
It's a
you.
great program. Oops, but no.
18 is the approval of the Board of Health appointments. We have Dr. Nesheiwat and, am I saying it right, Luce or Luce?
Luce.
Luce, oh, said it wrong 2 times.
See Italian.
Okay, so there's a request for consideration of the following appointments. Dr. Nesheiwat will fill the vacant seat till 12/31/2026. And Luce? Luce. Ms. Shelby Luce to resume the unexpired term previously held by Dr. Michael Schoolman, which will conclude on 12/31/2025. Both candidates were interviewed by the Board of Health and received unanimous support for their appointments. And this, I make a motion, personally, any questions or comments?
I have a
Yes.
question to council. Look, these are both unbelievably qualified candidates. I just want to make sure that Dr. Nesheiwat, who serves on the county, that there's no conflict, because he's got a full-time position, because I'd like to see him have this. Just want to make sure.
I'm not aware of any conflicts from it.
Thank you.
And we did reach out for, please, I don't
Yes.
want to steal your thunder.
In addition to being the solid waste program manager for the county, I'm also the recording secretary for the Board of Health. And I did reach out to NYSHO and have extensive conversations with the New York State Legal Counsel, as well as the county's legal, to make sure that there were no conflicts of interest because of Dr. Nesheiwat's consultancy with the health department.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So I was lucky enough that I was able to sit in on the interviews for 4 really qualified candidates. I was so impressed with each and every one of them. I'm very happy that we have Dr. Nesheiwat's institutional knowledge. I'm equally happy that we have someone of Ms. Shelby Luce's caliber. She's new to Putnam County. She's a young professional, and she just moved her family to Philipstown, I think. Garrison.
Same thing.
Very, yeah, no, to me, because, anyway, she was very impressive. I'm happy to have her. And, and really all around, all the candidates were very well qualified. I'm happy we have the 2 that we have for now.
I just wanted to sort of take a moment to thank Dr. Schoolman
Oh,
for
absolutely.
his steadfast representation on the Board of Health as well. So he was sort of a steadfast voice for us for a very long time.
How many years?
40.
40 years, yeah.
40.
Not consecutively, but
Yeah. So
almost consecutively.
really felt that should be recognized publicly.
Oh, absolutely, yes,
Thank you.
yes. Anyone else? questions or comments about these two appointments? Anybody from the public? Okay, make a motion to approve. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Other business? Seeing there's no other business, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
So just muted, yeah.
September 17th Physical Services Committee. Will you please join in Legislator Montgomery, who's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Legislator Crowley, Legislator Yonke, Chairman Elner.
Here. Being that we have two legislators absent, I've asked Legislator Montgomery to please sit in with us.
Thank you.
We're going to try and move pretty efficiently on this, everybody. First thing is the acceptance of the minutes of our September 25 meeting. That's item 4. And the next is a presentation from the Hudson Valley Regional Council. Boy, I'm tired. Sorry. Okay, sorry. This is a county-level climate adaptation and resilience plan. Along with Commissioner Barosa, please.
I just wanted to introduce, this is Sophie DiTomaso with Hudson Valley Regional Council. She is wonderful. She's been helping us put together our climate and resiliency, climate adaptation and resilience plan. And I just
Welcome, Sophie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Please.
Wonderful. Thank you so much all for having me and for the opportunity to speak with the Physical Services Committee. As Barbara mentioned, my name is Sophie DiTomaso and I'm the Resilience and Adaptation Coordinator with HVRC. And today my goal is to provide you with an update and overview of some of the work that HVRC is doing on the Climate Change Adaptation and Resiliency Plan with Putnam County, or their SEQR. So during my comment tonight, I will provide a little bit of background about Hudson Valley Regional Council and the Climate Smart Communities program to provide some context for this project, and to share an overview of our current project, which is creating that county-level climate change adaptation and resiliency plan. And my goal is really to demonstrate some of our goals and our outcomes and the impacts that we're trying to have, as well as to leave any time for questions that you might have. But before we get started, I just wanted to share a little bit about Hudson Valley Regional Council, where I work, to introduce you to who we are as partners in this work. HVRC is one of 10 regional planning organizations in New York State. We serve 7 counties in the Mid-Hudson region: Ulster, Sullivan, Dutchess, Orange, Rockland, Westchester, and of course Putnam County. Our team of 10 staff members works across topics like economic development, water, materials management, and sustainability, and we receive funding through sources like NYSERDA, the DEC, the EDA, the EPA, as well as through the support of our county governments. And so our current work with Putnam County is part of the Climate Smart Communities program, which is a New York State program that's designed to support communities to both mitigate and adapt to climate change. And to participate in the program, communities pass a resolution, after which they become registered communities, and then they can complete actions to earn points towards certification levels of either bronze or silver. And completing actions is really beneficial for communities because it increases their competitiveness for grant funding and can support with implementation of projects. And we know Putnam County has already demonstrated leadership through this program as a certified bronze community, and our current collaboration with Putnam County is aiming to build off of that leadership to help make progress towards silver certification. So HVRC has received funding from the New York Department of Environmental Conservation to create 2 climate vulnerability assessments and adaptation plans for counties in the Mid-Hudson, using a New York State template called the Climate Change Adaptation and Resiliency Plan template, or the SEQR. We're very excited to be working with Putnam County as the first county in this effort. And through this project, we're going to complete 3 Climate Smart Communities actions for the county that can be submitted for credit. This is creating a climate vulnerability assessment, writing a climate adaptation plan, and evaluating policies for climate resilience. And the purpose of these 3 actions is to understand and evaluate existing resiliency progress and gaps in the county, to assess and analyze climate hazards facing the county, and to assess vulnerable assets to these hazards, and finally to craft tangible strategies to address each of these hazards and their impacts. And each of these 3 actions will serve as one phase in the planning process towards creating the Climate Change Adaptation and Resiliency Plan. We're currently in phase 1, evaluating the policies for climate resilience. According to the IPCC definition, resilience is looking at the ability of communities to, quote, maintain and function identities and structures. This means that resilient communities are able to survive and thrive in the face of hazards and challenges. And so in this action, we're reviewing current plans, policies, projects, and resources in the county using an inventory-based tool in order to identify where there's progress and where there's gaps in the planning efforts. And this will provide the meaningful background information to inform our second phase of the project, creating a climate vulnerability assessment. So we've also already started phase 2 of this project, which is writing their vulnerability assessment. And this is really trying to understand what are the hazards facing the community, things like flooding, extreme heat, storms, and the social, infrastructural, and environmental assets that are at risk. This project will involve a mixture of research, stakeholder engagement, and analysis. And by identifying what's vulnerable and potential impacts, we're hoping to better prepare for a more resilient communities. And this deliverable will serve as the basis of the third phase of this project, creating a climate adaptation plan. And so our final phase is working on adjusting to the hazards facing a community in order to reduce the risks and maximize the benefits to the community. In this project, we'll use all of the gaps identified in the evaluate policies for climate resilience action and the vulnerabilities identified in the assessment to outline concrete strategies for the county. We will consider things like costs, benefits, timelines, necessary people, and resources. And our goal is that this will support a safer, healthier, and more resilient future in the county. And as part of this process, we'll also be developing a resilience and adaptation vision for the county to guide this work. And as with all the other work, this will involve a mixture of internal and external engagement, research, and data analysis. So as I mentioned, we're currently working on those first 2 actions, evaluating policies for climate resilience and creating a climate vulnerability assessment. We'll aim to wrap up these 2 phases in winter 2026, and then in winter and spring, we'll move on to phase 3, which is the climate adaptation plan, which we're aiming to complete in early summer with ample time for community feedback. And it's worth noting that in order to get credit through the Climate Smart Communities program, the plan will need to be formally adopted by the county. And I also wanted to note that this plan will not only be shaped by community input and outreach, but also through engagement across the county and with partner organizations. And we've assembled a working group that will aim to support this work with Putnam County and HVRC staff, with a particular emphasis on the climate adaptation plan. And by engaging across the county and community, we aim to generate buy-in and participation. And then I just wanted to wrap up with some of the benefits of this project and really why we're doing all of this work, which is once completed, these 3 deliverables will combine into that climate adaptation and resiliency plan that can be submitted for credit through the Climate Smart Communities program. This will increase Putnam County's progress towards silver certification and help position the county to be competitive for grant funding. And beyond earning CSC credit, there's many reasons why these projects might be of interest to communities. For example, climate resilience and adaptation planning can help with proactively preparing communities for potential hazards, reducing damages and consequently reducing costs, equipping planners and departments with beneficial knowledge and tools about risks, promoting health and safety within the community, addressing social vulnerabilities and susceptibility to hazards, and protecting the ecosystems and environments that make Putnam County a great place to live and to visit. And then finally, this is a foundational step in reviewing, assessing, and prioritizing and planning for resilience projects. And this effort aims to better position the county to undertake resilience implementation projects and to receive funding from the state for shovel-ready projects. These state grant opportunities are available through the DEC's Climate Smart Communities grant programs, the EFC's Resilient Watershed Grant Program, and the DOS Inland Flooding and Local Waterfront Revitalization Program, just to name a few. And so many grants are supported by one-time Bond Act allocations as well, making this a really exciting time to be working on this project. So with that, I'll conclude my remarks, and thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your information. Any questions of the committee?
The committee of one. Really excited to start working on this program. We've really come a long way in Putnam County, and I'm so proud. Carla Castillo from the Regional Council was there when we wrote and adopted that first resolution to become a climate smart community. And you know, you sort of held our hands throughout the whole thing, along with Commissioner Barossa and Alona Campo, who really amped up the work on climate smart communities throughout. So just great to have this legislature support on it and the county executive support to, you know, keep us going to that next certification and a silver level certification. I'm just really proud that we've come this far. It wasn't easy getting it going, and we've already come such a long way, and I can't wait to work on this. We are embarking on our 5-year hazard mitigation plan too, that we work with the Bureau of Emergency Services on, and you know, I'm not sure if we're going to be sharing the same information. I'm sure the hazards are going to be the same, but will you be pulling any of that information from previous plans, or maybe working in conjunction with them?
Yeah,
on
that's
this?
a great question, and definitely have valued having all of the wonderful work that you've already done through the Climate Smart Communities program to be able to draw from this and many of the plans that already exist in the county. And so the hazard mitigation plan has been a really valuable source, the existing draft has been a really valuable source of information in starting to work on this plan. And we've started early conversations about being kept informed of the hazard mitigation planning process for the new update. Of course, it'll depend a little bit on timelines, on whether we're able to align those processes fully, but the goal is definitely to make this plan in line with existing planning work that's happening in Putnam County. And that existing 2020 hazard mitigation plan has been a really wonderful source of information to start building this plan from.
Great, I'm really looking forward to working on it with you.
Any other legislators? Legislator Sage.
Yeah, we have come a long way here in Putnam County. And like you said, we did have a lot of work that we had completed previously by capital projects throughout the county, making our buildings more efficient using gas-powered vehicles instead of diesel-powered vehicles. There's so many that it was helpful, I know for Alana, that she could just tick off a lot of the projects that we already had in place. So I think I'm proud of Putnam County, keeping this vision going, and I thank Legislator Montgomery for her vision in presenting this to the legislature, because I don't think without your work on this, it would have gone through. So I mean, with what the county has done, with Legislator Montgomery, pressing this through, I think all of us working together will just bring us up to the next level and open us up for more resources and hopefully grant funding. And yeah, I'm excited to see how this all pans out.
Public have any comments, questions? Sophie, thank you. If there's any chance of getting a copy of that to the clerk so we could have your presentation, we very much appreciate it.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
You
you.
and the regional council, your expertise is so helpful for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Everyone, my apologies. In my haste, I skipped the chairman's report, which is going to be very, very brief, okay? The administration had sent a updated resolution 139 for agriculture inclusion. Checking into that, I determined that none of the farmers nor the Agricultural Farmland Protection Board had any input to that resolution, which is why that resolution is not on tonight's agenda. It was critical that those parties have input to the resolution. So now, coming back in order, we're looking at agenda item 6. This is Budgetary Amendment 25A 108. So we can accept a donation of $10,000 for Sybil Ludington statue renovation. Any comments, questions from the legislature? Yes.
I'd just like to thank Mr. Whipple and the Whipple Foundation for the funding to get this renovation started. He's done quite a lot for Putnam County, and he's doing a lot right now for next year's Rev 250, and I'd just like to thank him and the foundation for this donation.
Anyone from the public? Okay.
Thank you. That's super generous.
Okay, so I'd like to move that we accept this $10,000. Do I have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
I've never been here before. I'm sorry. I don't know how to behave.
You're doing great. All those in favor?
What? Hi.
Aye, thank you. Okay. Item 7 here, this is approval for Budgetary Amendment 25A 111, Putnam Golf. This is a fund account for projected golf activity. There's no fiscal impact. We're looking at $350,000 of increased. Okay, this is appropriation, so this is pretty much housekeeping over here.
And call.
Any comments, questions of the legislature? Yes.
This reflects estimated income from now to the end of the year. Increased revenues from golf and interest. And
All
that is
those
being,
parties.
yeah, it's going into Putnam Golf, and it's going into their, the contracts. There's food and beverage
Food
and
and
golf
beverage.
course.
Okay. The public, anything? No? Okay. So I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Agenda item 8 is approval of a notice of intent for the county to act as a lead agency for a SEQRA review, Tilly Foster Farm Conservation Easement Amendment. Wow, that's a mouthful. Okay. And we have Councilor Andrew Metro here. It's very nice to see you again in the flesh as opposed to on a Zoom.
Respectfully through the chairman, good evening all. Good to see everybody. Legislator Russo, we've never met, but congratulations, it's nice to meet you.
So this is to begin a SEQR review. The legislature would act as lead agency for a Tilly Foster Farm Conservation Easement Amendment. And I'll actually allow Andrew to describe the process in the project.
Sure. Again, respectfully through the chairman, I've been working with Parks Director Ruth Finn, DPW Commissioner, to work with the Watershed Agricultural Council, which has the conservation easement over Tilly Foster Farm, to amend that conservation easement. The county amended previously the conservation easement, don't hold me to this, but about 10 years ago, to change some of the map lines of the different use areas up at the farm. We're working with WAC to do that again, basically to expand with the MADA area, which is the municipal area, the building envelope, to enlarge that, which will allow the county to have more uses up around the building envelope. In exchange, there's roughly 130 acres that was donated to the county years ago. It's really not usable to a great extent. That property will be included into the WAC easement as resource protection area and farm area. There is a watershed tributary that runs from Lake Carmel parallel to Simpson Road down into the Middle Branch Reservoir. It'll greatly help water quality. DEP is greatly in favor of that. WAC is in favor of that. It helps the county again by allowing us less restrictions on the farm. So basically, this is just a SEQR, they've started a SEQR process to work through that conservation easement amendment. And again, we've been working with WAC and the State Attorney General's office on doing this. So this is just a procedural requirement.
Than me with working with those two, okay?
Have a little bit of experience. This one, everybody's happy because it benefits all parties. It's a good amendment, so it hasn't been that hard of a process.
Okay. Any questions of the committee? Legislator Montgomery.
So, thank you, Chairman. I'm not familiar with the language. I know what a PDD, Plan Development District, is, but I don't know what a acceptable development area is. So,
Again, the WAC easement that covers the farm, there's a map that covers the entire farm, and easement is broken down into different use areas. One of the use areas at the farm is the ADA, the Acceptable Developmental Area. Another one is the MADA, which is the Municipal Acceptable Development Area. The easement itself has certain enumerated uses in those different use areas, and one of them, again, is the ADA. So we're going to be enlarging the ADA and the MADA in exchange for adding the other property into the WAC easement.
was there a purpose in mind for enlarging the ADA and the MDA?
It's just to make it easier as far as existing uses up at the farm. prior notices, the concerts, and certain, uses of the farm. It'll just give us more flexibility, the county more flexibility, and it'll be easier for WAC to administer as well, because we won't have to do required notices, and it'll just allow a little bit more flexibility in those, what's allowed in those use areas. It'll allow more flexibility by enlarging those areas.
Right, which is why I sound like I do. I hesitate for the farm and the use area being a concert venue and wedding venue and a restaurant bar area.
WAC is a steward of the easement. They will not allow the county to do anything that's in excess of what's permitted under the WAC easement. And within those use areas, it basically doesn't allow the county to do anything that the county isn't doing there now. It just allows a little bit more flexibility.
I guess I could look up, or if you guys can provide, I can look it up, and I should have before the meeting. I didn't know I was going to be on the committee though. The allowable uses for an ADA and an MADA. I'm sure that's listed, and I don't need it now, and I can.
I believe as backup, the maps were provided. We can provide the actual.
Listed uses?
We can provide the actual text of the easement, the WAC easement,
I think that's it.
for your review.
Okay, well, I'm really looking for the allowable uses in general for an ADA and an MADA. I think
Those are contained right in the actual easement itself.
Okay, great. And then my other question is, the county will add approximately 131 acres. 23.59 will be RPA, and the rest will be farm area and resource protection area. I guess my question is, we did a similar thing with the land trust in Philipstown, the Hudson Highlands Land Trust in Granite Mountain Preserve, and we did open that up for hunting. And I'm just wondering, is that an allowable use with WAC and easement? And
No.
is it a possibility? WAC won't allow it, is that their restriction? And,
The area where it is right along Simpson.
okay.
And I don't
I mean,
think it's
131
ideal.
acres, it
Big piece of land.
is most of farm area, like open farm area. So it's not conducive to hunting, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
The resource protection area is wooded.
Uh-huh. And
Good-
that's,
A good
but
portion of
that's
the
only
crop.
23 acres. Is that enough for hunting? It is? But we can't get, or the WAC won't allow us to,
No.
ever. Never, not even I ask. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, Legislature Sage.
So just in a nutshell, we're expanding the usage of the farm by 2.882 acres. In exchange for that, we're protecting another 131
Correct.
acres so that we can increase the,
Or just around,
The
around the
blueprint,
building
just
envelope,
around.
around the barns.
yeah, I mean, we have projects going on out there now with the Cornell Cooperative building, and there's, more usage out there. We just opened our youth bureau out there. It's a great educational facility. I'm certainly in favor of expanding that footprint as long as we do offer the exchange. I think that's more than fair. I think it's good.
Legislator Adamisi and then
Thank-
Legislator Gould.
Thank you. You mentioned less restrictions on the farm because of this. I know you also mentioned more flexibility. What type of restrictions would that free up?
It's less restrictions. It's basically,
Education.
the MADA is the least restricted area
Mhm.
on the farm. It's the least restricted use area. So what this is doing is the MADA, as it currently is on the map, is just expanding it. It's also expanding a portion of the ADA, which is the second least restrictive area. So it's just enlarging those areas which are less restrictive than, say, farm area.
Would this ever allow for another building to be built? Because I know we're at the max right now. Would that change anything on the farm?
No, because
No.
there's still restrictions within that MADA
Okay.
area
Mhm.
as far as what can be developed.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait, Legislator Goulden then.
Thank you. To piggyback on what Legislator Montgomery was asking before, you said we can't do anything more than what we're doing right now. Could you define that? Because a few years ago, we had a few very, very large concerts in that area. Could that still occur, or?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
The concerts will be allowed to occur, and basically, it'll allow the county to have more activity within those areas without getting the requisite pre-approvals from the Watershed Agricultural Council.
Okay, do we need to get the community involvement also, or are we separate from that?
As far as community involvement.
Southeast, that there's gonna be a concert there. Like in the past, there was some opposition from community members because the farm was doing a few things.
This only speaks to the relationship between WAC and the county. It doesn't have anything to do with whatever restrictions or interplay between the town of Southeast and the county.
Also, I just need to jump in. We're talking about only for the county to act as the lead agency for a SEQRA review. We're not getting into what the uses are at this time.
I was, respectfully through the chair, I was just going to bring that to everybody's attention. This is just a procedural resolution for the county to start the SEQRA process and to serve its intent to act as lead agency. We'll have to go through the SEQRA review process, and then the actual conservation easement amendment will have to be approved after SEQRA is approved by the legislature, as we did previously. So I'm assuming I will be back with Commissioner Director Ruthven to give a more full presentation as far as, and at that time, I think what we'll do is blow up some maps, and it'll be more readily observable where the use areas are going to lie within the farm.
Did you have another question, Legislator Montgomery?
Sure, but it'll probably come out later. It states this in the action. The property is undeveloped and contains a water course that flows directly into the New York City Middle Branch Reservoir. Can we fish?
Yeah.
With a DEP permit, I imagine, right?
No, that property is still would be owned by the county of Putnam. It'll just
New
be,
York State.
it'll just be, you need a fishing license, of course, but it'll be county property, encumbered by the WAC easement, and fishing is allowed. Chris Ruthven's told me there's a bunch of trout up there. I've been trying to get up there for myself, but
Okay, now this is gonna pass, but I have a question for Commissioner Grossa. Obviously, this is happening. Was there an intent of why we wanted to do this? Is there a future projection of what we're looking to do? Because this obviously makes things allowable.
As far as the seeker or the,
No, the reason we're going through this process is there has to be some plan in the future, otherwise we leave everything alone. So I'm just asking is, do we have an indication of what we're hoping or intending to accomplish in the future?
I mean, I think it was more to alleviate previous concerns that the county has come up with dealing with WAC. This
That's what I'm just,
resolves various conflicts.
it's basically to make WAC's job easier, and for one, with the stewardship, and to solidify what we're permitted to do, being the county, as a matter of right within those areas.
any comments or questions from the public on this? No?
One more. In other words, we would maintain the easement. We're responsible for the easement. Or WAC is.
Well, we're responsible for the farm since it's county property. This is just the conservation easement that covers the entire farm and delineates what can be done, what uses can be done in those certain use areas.
And it's beneficial for other purposes. This parcel, we actually received and we got climate smart credit for taking property that we intended to use for conservation purposes. So this is solidifying that.
Thanks.
Okay, so at this point, I'd like to make a motion to approve for the county to act as the lead agency for the SEQRA review at Tilly Foster Farm Conservation Easement. Do I have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
While you're there, are you also for the next SEQRA?
9.
I
Number
am.
9? Okay.
I'll step down.
Thank you, Andrew. Good seeing you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Okay. Number, agenda item 9. Oh, boy. Agenda item 9, approval, notice of intent for the county to act as the lead agency for SEQRA review, Donald B. Smith campus site improvements. And Barbara, real quick, again, this is just for us to be the SEQRA review.
Yes, this is to initiate a environmental review of the proposed external improvements to the Donald B. Smith campus, the parking, the sidewalks, drainage.
Any questions, comments of the committee?
No much needed, thank you.
Fellow legislators, public. Okay, so make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
In years.
Yeah. Item number 10, okay? This is approval for support, continuing support for the Putnam County Parking and Transfer Program and the Intercity Bus Mass Transit Joint Service Agreement to operate on Croton Falls. So this is basically to get people from the Croton Falls shuttle to and from the one park and ride that's located in Mayapack, is that correct?
We have several stops.
Several stops, there we go, that's even better.
The park and
Okay.
ride is our, one of our main ones, but yes, I think there's 6 total stops.
Gotcha.
And this is funded by New York State, and this contract is the funding mechanism for the Croton Falls shuttle, as well as they reimburse us for our park and ride maintenance.
Okay, I was just looking
So-
for a total, is what this is worth.
I believe it's $375,000
Thank you.
for a 1-year extension. So this will fund 2026.
Yep, okay. Any comments of the committee?
No comment.
Legislators? Yes, Legislator Sage.
This park and ride is in my district, is the Croton Falls on Hope, Mount Hope.
Yes.
And this is just something that we do every year. Is that correct?
Yes, it's, I think we've been doing this, when did we start?
2017?
Okay.
Actually, 2002, I think was, oh yes, 2016 was our first year.
So where exactly does the bus go to pick up people for the Croton Falls train station?
Our schedule is on our website. It goes around the hamlet, there's a couple stops. Our main pickup changed. We were using the synagogue parking lot, which the state funded. They decided that they didn't want to fund it anymore, which is why it moved to the park and ride. Park and ride is not ideal because it is a little hidden, but we own it and operate it, so we added that.
When did it start back at the park and ride?
I believe it was April and May.
Oh. I'm sure that the synagogue was not happy with using the money.
Yeah.
They need all the, yeah.
Any other questions from anybody? Okay, so I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
A second.
All those in favor? Aye. Agenda item 11 is approval for a grant application for senior resources. This is also for transportation. It's a FTA grant program.
Hello.
Marlene. Okay. This is pretty straightforward, Marlene.
Yes, so we do currently have a 5310 grant for our buses, and we're just looking to get another one to keep up with our
Right,
buses.
so this is for 6 buses, and there's a 20% county match.
Correct,
Okay,
which is about equal to 1 bus. They've gone up a little bit over the years, so.
got it.
Yep.
Any questions of the committee? Legislators? Public, yes?
Do we have time to get it in? Our full legislative meeting is the 2nd, and this is due on the 5th, and you're okay with that?
Yes, so they say as long as we do it,
Get it forward?
yeah, as long as it's in
Move along.
motion.
Move along.
It's not part of
Okay,
putting it in. Yep.
happy to support it.
Anybody else?
Someday we'll buy an electric bus, though.
That's a separate agenda.
Okay.
Motion to approve, grant application. Do I have a second? All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
12 is another grant application. This is Community Resiliency, Economic Sustainability, and Technology. It's for the Sybil Ludington statue restoration, and it's courtesy of Senator Peter Harckham. There is no county match on this, so I guess it's DASNY funds here.
Yes. This is through the CREST program. Senator Harckham, as you mentioned, has kindly offered us $50,000
$50,000 grant.
to fund the renovations of the statue. And this is a request to approve the submittal of the grant.
Okay. Any questions of the committee?
No questions?
Legislators? Legislator stage.
Do we have an estimate of how much it would cost to renovate the statue at this time? I know that, I don't think, it hasn't gone out to bid or an RFP or anything yet, but I'm just curious as
Yeah,
to.
I believe
What
Jim
are we talking
Cassidy
about? Yeah.
threw that number out a while ago. Just,
But
Commissioner
through
Tully,
the
if
chair,
you-
we did issue a request for proposals.
Okay.
2 proposals were received on Friday, and they're in the evaluation process.
do you have a range that you're willing to
So
let us know?
the way that the proposal was constructed was that the proposers had to provide a price for the evaluation, and then after they performed the evaluation, we would be to discuss the evaluation is within the donated amount that
I see.
you approved earlier.
Right, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I want to just thank Senator Harckham for this funding and the state, and the taxpayer. I know those CREST grants, there's a lot of pressure on the senators to get those CREST grant outs, and I'm really appreciative that Putnam County is receiving it.
And if my memory serves, I want to additionally thank our county historian, Jennifer Cassidy, who identified that this was a potential grant, and it's a very worthy grant. Okay, anybody else have anything on this? No? I make a motion to approve agenda item 12, grant application. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Item 13, okay. Here we're going to adopt a negative declaration. Negative SEQRA deck for approval for, this is the site lease agreement for the tower. Okay, so I guess being it's a negative deck, this is pretty straightforward here.
So the Putnam County Legislature actually declared their intent to conduct an environmental review in 2024. In the meantime, there's been a great deal of work that's gone into this project, mainly by Andrew and Tom Lannon. Yes, there have been, we've been able to identify that there are no impacts from the proposed project, and I kindly request that you issue a negative declaration.
Yeah. Any questions of the committee?
Just a huge thank you.
Yes.
I'm working with different agencies and municipalities and the public, and This has been a long time coming, and I know I don't know the amount of work that got into it, but I can imagine, so thanks. Much appreciated. Thank you, Tom and Barbara and Open Space and the town of Philipstown and everybody.
All the above. Any other legislators? Anybody else? The public? Okay, I make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item 14 is a request to the legislature to introduce alienation legislation. This is for the same tower. Okay? And real quick, if someone would help me, because it's an unusual word. Alienation sounds bad, but it's actually a good thing.
Yes. Respectfully, through the chair, these three resolutions are all the same project.
Mhm.
The resolution that was just approved, the legislature just issued a negative declaration and approved the lease agreement. Basically, the county's leasing a portion of highway yard to construct an emergency services tower.
Mhm.
That portion, well, that property is encumbered by a conservation easement held by the Hudson Highlands Land Trust. So in order for the town of Philipstown to lease the county for $1 a year, that portion of the highway yard for the tower, they had to go and get a waiver from Hudson Highlands in order to comply with the conservation easement.
Mhm.
In exchange, the town is donating property to OSI, who is another environmental conservation entity that works with Hudson Highlands, and the county is going to be donating 4 parcels to OSI.
This is about 2.6 acres, just so people know. It's
Roughly.
not a big area of land.
It's not a
Okay.
big area. It's currently has no use except
Right.
for open space. There's a doctrine of state law called alienation. So if a property is parkland or is open space, the county has to go to the state legislature to get alienation approval. Even though the properties, the 4 parcels, will still be conservation because they're going from county conservation to OSI conservation, it's going to a private not-for-profit entity. So the alienation approval is approval from the state legislature in order to allow us to transfer those properties to OSI.
Right.
And that's what this resolution is asking
14
this.
Right, and 15 is the accompanying resolution to actually transfer the
Parcels
Yeah.
themselves to OSI.
Right, we've been talking about this for a while. I think that, thank you for making sure all our ducks in a row, and let's get this approved. Any questions of the committee?
Right on there?
Yes?
There's a revised.
Oh, my apologies, thank you, Beth. Make a motion to include the additional revised number 14.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And this revision,
The second page. The acreage.
okay, just so everybody knows, this is a breakdown of all the parcel identifiers, the lot sections, and the amount of acreage. So it just completes this. Thank you.
Just a comment, if I may, through the chair,
Please.
just, this is a very long, drawn-out, complicated process, all to enhance our critical emergency response system, which is much needed in the county, and we're finally there, and I'm glad that this will be keeping our first responders safer and our people in Putnam County, and just thanks to all involved. I'm glad my
Yep.
son's out there responding to emergencies, and I feel a little safer.
Any other comments from anyone else in the room? Okay. Make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, And number 15, this is, I'm gonna use a bad term, like I said, this is housekeeping. This is the approval so we can transfer the property to the Hudson Highlands Trust. I think we've pretty much discussed this. Any other comments from anyone else in the room on this? No? Being that, I make a motion to approve.
Second?
So I have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you again, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Legislator Montgomery. I know you were instrumental.
Well, thanks.
You were.
Thank you. Just a phone call.
You made quite a few phone calls, so thank you. And cell phone worked? Okay. Okay, number 16 is approval. Authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instance, 100% of the federal aid and state aid eligible costs. Okay, basically, Barbara, are you still here? This is funding that's coming back? Oh, this is gonna be Joe, this is DPW, okay.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, so we're looking at
Last but not least,
$2.9 million, we had a PIN number 876297.
Yep.
Joe, real briefly, tell us what we got here.
This is just the appropriation of funding for a bundle of culverts we're looking to do in the towns of Mahopac and Patterson for SEQR Road, East Lake, and Harmony Road. It's 80% reimbursable by the federal government, and it has the potential to be an additional 15% within Marshall Haley funds too. We could be eligible for that in the future. So.
Okay, so there's 80% federal funds, and there's the chance that this could be 100% reimbursed.
95. Yeah.
95,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Any comments of the committee?
Thanks. I love infrastructure
Culverts, yeah.
projects. I really do.
You're enjoying yourself up here. Huh? Any other legislators? Public? Thank you, DPW, for doing what
Thank
you're
you.
doing. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 17 is an update from Commissioner Tully on the status of our property at 34 Oneida Avenue. Floor is yours, John.
Good evening.
Hi, John.
I guess we're still selling it.
Well, I'm not coming forward to you with any offers currently. The last several weeks have been a bit of a roller coaster. There was a few offers that we felt would rise to the point where we'd have a proposal for you, but for various reasons, those offers are not available at this time.
I remember one of the offerees reached out to me, and the offer was at least $200,000 below the offer which we got years ago.
And that's exactly the reason the county executive, had a couple of points for me before we would bring anything to the legislature. And one is that, the offer would have to be for the property as is, and as the listing stated, with no additional properties being requested other than what was offered by the county. And two, they'd have to accept it as is, on or close to the listing price that was agreed upon.
The listing price is?
$600,000, but the
So
last
600,000.
appraisal that was done was slightly higher than that.
I'm sorry, please repeat.
It was slightly higher than that, was about $630,000.
Okay.
So there's probably more information that I could provide to you with respect to the offers. I'm just not certain that I could do it in open session because there's a possibility that they would develop.
If you would like to, I'd be happy to go into executive
Can we
session.
ask questions before we go to discuss specifics?
I'm sorry, could you?
Can we just
Sure.
go?
I'm
If
just
there's
saying,
anything that we need to
I'm
go
just
into
throwing that
executive
offer
session?
out there.
Sure, yeah.
I'm just thinking
I'm
as much
happy to
public
do
as
so,
possible before we have to go.
Oh,
into
absolutely,
executive
I just wanted him to know that
Yeah.
we can go, so
I'll be-
yes.
Yeah.
Please, anything else? Anybody have any questions while we're, yes?
So, it was originally listed as is. There was never any discussion
Yeah.
about offering anything
Some of the
additional.
offers that came in, despite the fact that it was offered as is, came with contingencies that were
Right.
counter to that. so.
Right, but the way we listed it was as is.
Correct.
And when was the last appraisal done? I mean, shouldn't we have a new appraisal done? Because it seems like that appraisal was probably done in 2019.
So
This
that's
is-
certainly something we could
This
look
is like 6
at.
years later, it's gotta
I-
change,
I
especially
have-
with so many properties.
What I will tell you is this, I have had a bunch of conversations with the realtor on this, and while the appraisal that was done previously, the comps that were used for that probably wouldn't be valid anymore, right? So they'd have to find newer comps. Also, she believes strongly that because the building is so unique, that the market will ultimately dictate the price that the county is offering for that property.
And that's what I was gonna say, it's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Right.
And at this point, it seems like our offers are coming in way below, our 2019 appraisal. So it seems like we need to reevaluate that appraisal to.
Is
So-
that something that you'd like me to take back to the administration? I'd be happy to
Yeah,
do that
I
and
mean,
kick it around a little bit.
You can't
Sure.
use an
On
appraisal
a
from 6 years ago.
on a personal note,
Mhm.
because I would like to get this property back on the tax rolls. One of the things that I've been made aware of is that parking is a huge issue. However, the property has behind it an area which could be potentially, the owner could increase the parking. But in order to do that, they would need an easement to use the driveway for I'm gonna call it, for the entrance to the new courthouse so they could get back there. So if somebody has access to that, I believe it would make the property much more attractive, and we might be able to sell it.
That's true. You're well informed.
Well, this
Yeah.
time.
That's
Okay. Anybody have any comments? And, I mean, yes, please, public.
It's only my second time tonight, all right?
Get that purple pen.
The as-is requirement, and this is a question, what exactly does that mean, that if they have to take it as, is there work that needs to be done? Whoever takes it on is gonna have to.
I see legislative counsel raising her hand.
Yeah, as is just means exactly that. It means that there's no other promises that are contingent with it. Sometimes, for example, properties will allow contingency for sale, like in a house, right? You're gonna have a contingency till you sell your other house. This has no contingencies. It is just exactly as the property states.
Okay, got it, thank you.
I have a question. We've been dealing with this for a long time. I think appraisals are so subjective. I don't know if it's worthwhile to do. That's not my concern. But because we've been dealing with it for so long and trying to sell it for so long, and it's worth way more than what the offers we're getting for it. Just gonna say this, would we take it off the market?
No, I certainly think that
Would we find use for it again?
there's conversations to be had about the alternatives. I could certainly bring that back to the administration as something that was suggested. You're right, it's been listed for quite some time.
Is there a need in the community for that as a public space for something? Have we talked to the town and identified a need for something that it could be used for?
That's something that I could also.
Can a preschool go in there?
I think it was the intent of the previous legislature that the property be sold and taken off the tax rolls, as the chairman mentioned, but but I could put it back on the tax rolls, but I could bring that back to the administration
We're
as
working
well.
this hard to sell it and we're not getting any offers that are acceptable.
It might be time to consider
Take off.
alternatives, but I'm not here to discuss
I
that tonight.
don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, like you said, getting the ability to have parking and allowing us to use that could
Well, that was-
enhance the property's value and make it happen.
If I may, we had that issue when we developed the Butterfield site. There was no parking and we found public use for it in a way to uniquely get people onto the site by busing them in.
Any other comments, questions? Yes.
So maybe we could go into executive session so we
I'm
can
happy
maybe
to do
discuss
that.
the.
If you feel it's necessary.
Yeah, I have some additional information.
Okay.
Yeah, I can share. It's up to you.
7:45, make a motion to go into executive session to discuss agenda item 17. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The session with the intent to go back in. Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Thank you for that suggestion to be cognizant of the public, okay? Number 18, I have some other business. Like to accept the additional. Do I have a second? This is 18A. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. What this is, and it's an email from Cassandra Roth, and this has to do with a draft of resolutions for agricultural district inclusion. So let's discuss this here. Is Ms. Roth in the room?
That's hiding.
She's hiding, yes.
Hiding behind Tom.
Okay. Thank you for this, and please give us a quick overview.
I got so comfortable back there, sorry.
And just so everybody knows that there has been, this has been sent over to the Legislative Council, who has seen it but not had time to do a review, but they are aware of this, which is why we're just having a discussion now.
So I wanted to bring this to the attention because there has been obviously a lot of confusion on what the ag district is from a lot of different bodies that have been involved. And I know it's been a few times now that proposals have been made to the legislature to discuss or adopt a new updated Resolution 139. The Ag Board has not weighed in on any of those drafts that have come before this legislature. And that's why I sent the email I sent today as Chair of Soil and Water and also as a member of the Ag Board. We did not know about or have any actual official input in those. At the Ag Board meetings, it's been a little bit confusing where we're told there's a confusion on what the Ag Board's role is on advising on those drafts for those, what criteria, let's say, for inclusion, as whether that's for the legislature, whether that's for the Ag Board. There's just always been that ambiguity, and we've never really gotten confirmation from the legislature itself. We've never reached out to Mitsubishi, frankly, until today on the Ag Board issue because it's just been very confusing. So we've tried to do everything we can to do the things that are within our advisory scope, which is narrow, right? So we started to work on application, changing maybe the application structure of the information put there, change what we look at when we go out for site visits. Because we didn't really know, we haven't been given that full opportunity to be involved in a draft to bring to the legislature. So that's why I wanted to send that. I've spoken to Chairwoman Nastasi. She is on board with what I submitted tonight. And really the only reason I put this draft in is because all other drafts have been similar to how Soil and Water, Mitsubishi had pointed out, we don't want to, the law is extensive. It is, you know, pretty black and white of what it is, but it does give the legislature some leeway on how you administer the district program. But to that same end, to not set us up for failure in the future where this legislature gets it. You've listened to us talk about ag, soil, water for the last year. But legislatures in the future not understanding what those simple things mean, like one of the specific things was whether a parcel going for inclusion in the ag district was next to a critical environmental sensitive area. What does that even mean? Nobody here knows what that means and how you look at that, how you wouldn't look at that. And further than that, other counties, there's another county specifically that identified and established that their entire ag district was a critical environmental sensitive area. So that would be something that if no one knows what it is, you see critical and you see panic, don't let that parcel in, right? So this draft was to make it a little bit clearer on, for future legislators, for people, and so that it doesn't also hamstring you into, the specifics. So I haven't gotten a chance to, I know Ms. Vesey hasn't gotten a chance to look at it, but she's been fantastic. I think there's just a lot of confusion on who tells the Ag Board what they can and can't do. And there's been a lot of confusion of that over the last.
There's been confusion, there's been misinformation, there's been downright erroneous information. So now that the two of you are talking, I think that we can get to the bottom of this and we can get it cleared up. And this is something that I would very much like to have done before my term on the legislature ends. So if you guys can come up to a acceptable, and I'm saying the minds all meet, I would be all in favor of having a special physical meeting to get something that is proper and does the job correctly through. With that being said, I'd like to open this up to any other questions or comments. Committee member, temporary committee member.
Yeah. Geez, I think we were just here a year ago. Maybe it was 11 months ago, but it was clearly almost a year ago. And I think I stated at that meeting that the role of the Ag Board is agricultural policy for the county. And that was my understanding, and I believe the only one that can tell the Ag Board what to do, it's governed by state law. That's so clear to me. That was clear to me when I dove deep into it back then. So that's my understanding of it. I'm looking forward to reviewing the new Resolution 139 and getting it resolved.
Getting it right.
Resolution resolved.
Legislation?
So I, respectfully, I would disagree with that. And maybe Legislator Council Labisi can maybe help us through that definition. I think the Ag Board is an advisory board to the legislature. The legislature is responsible for, the Ag Plan and for making sure that state policy and law is carried out. So as far as I see it, I think of course the legislature has to adopt a policy and adopt a resolution that the Ag Board has to comply with and do their best to administer on behalf of the county and all of our constituents. So, I mean, that's how I see it. I don't think that you're just an agency that just, we're not cut out from the legislature. You're advisory to the legislature, and that's an important point, I think. And we do rely on your expertise as farmers in the community, so.
I want to agree with both of you, which seems impossible.
And I want to say my objective from sitting here as the chairman is, let's get it right.
So, but the second part of my question, go ahead, I'll let you respond.
I just want to agree with both of you.
I have a
because
second.
I think the intent was that the Ag Board, and it's not been treated that for a while, for whatever reason, right, is we are the expert advisory board under the law for you guys. So the fact that our board did not have that input, didn't know that this was coming before you twice now. So not that we can't make policy, we're just a board of 11 people that try to do the right thing, but that we are a resource that you utilize and that is established under the law to give you that best guidance. So I do agree with both of you on that, where that's what we're here for. But let's use the volunteers, otherwise volunteers don't want to volunteer anymore.
Through the chair, the second part of that question is, obviously, I just got this today. I haven't had a chance to read through it. I'd like to see how it compares with the previous one that was sent to us. I think what you said is very well taken, and that was one of my concerns with that resolution as well, is that what is critical, how do we define that? It's pretty broad.
What is
And somebody
defined?
just say, this is critical to me, well, it's not critical to farming, or, it doesn't affect, farming's not affected. How do we make that more specific? And I see the defer to the
Legislative
chair.
Council.
First, I would just like to say I'm appreciative to Ms. Roth for, communicating with me and keeping me apprised of what's going on. I don't want it to be left with the impression that I did not attempt to get input from the Agricultural Board. I did attend a meeting, and I did advise that anyone who had thoughts, edits, concerns, suggestions, additions, should feel free to give them.
Yes, you did.
And I did not hear anything back except for what Ms. Barossa presented me with. I did not know that I guess did not integrate everyone's feedback, but it was my sincere intent to solicit feedback and to get feedback from that. If I'm told now that it doesn't, obviously it doesn't, and so we'll start with what we have now with this draft, and we can work from that. As for the language, the problem is this, is that the law defines certain things, including a critical environmental area, and so, there are terms of art that are sometimes used. And the challenge, is that you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You don't want to start using your own language when the law defines certain things and uses language. So, but then again, when you use the language that the law uses, it is sometimes confusing because the law isn't written for lay people, it's written for lawyers. And sometimes it's written for lawyers by lay people, which is extra confusing. I'm looking forward to collaborating and coming up with a meeting of the mind somewhere in the middle, that we're not reinventing the wheel, that we're using definitions that are understood and acceptable within the bounds of the law, but that similarly a lay person seeking to become a part of the ag district will understand the criteria and understand what they need to do in order to get in it. Because the entire purpose of this is inclusion, it is not exclusion. The idea is that we're supposed to make it so that farms can gain the benefits of district membership. In any event, I just want to make sure that the intent was never to exclude anyone or to...
I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue stems from me in that I wanted to make sure that there were at least two parties collaborating, which hadn't happened until now. So now let's get the collaboration. Whatever happened in the past doesn't matter. Let's get this worked out. Let's get everybody on the same page, everybody in the room, and let's make it good. Now, I saw Commissioner Barossa had her hand up. She's coming up here.
I also wanted to point out, the Ag Board did get the opportunity to comment on it. I put it on our shared, we have a SharePoint file, shared files. I asked everyone to comment on it, the draft resolution, make comments, changes. Myself and Ruby from Cornell were the only two people that commented, and those were what I took to Ms. Abissi and recommended for change. So,
Any other questions, comments?
Just real quick on this. And so there was a conversation months ago, but then none of us were made aware that it was coming before you. I think that was just, we're trying to do, it's volunteers, we're trying not to go rogue on you, So when things are hot, this is why, but the big thing with the critically environmental sensitive area that I want to say now, so no one understands that that's a real legal term.
I didn't understand either, so.
It sounds like just words, right? And
Yeah.
so part of it also was like agricultural best management practices. That sounds like just a phrase. That's a legal definition. And those are the things that farmers would know, right? Soil and water, because we do a lot of AM stuff that funds best management practices now. That's so seeing those nuances that look like normal words, I know what those mean because I operate in those programs and those grant funding lines and things like that, that Ms. Barossa would not be a part of all the time, or that Ms. Abisi wouldn't. So that's why the Ag Board's input. I'm glad we're here now. I just really want everybody to work together.
We're here now, let's go forward. If anybody needs a room here, we have a legislative conference room that so people want to have and meet, but let's get this thing moving. Yes, legislator.
Are we on thank you, are we on time constraint? Is there
I'd love by the end of this year, because you guys are great. And we have done this all year.
you're saying by December, next month? Yeah.
Right.
Barbara.
if it could be in place before the next inclusion period, which technically begins March.
Right, we'd love to get it before
And the applicants
January
are
1,
starting to-
2026, so yeah, that works, but thank you.
Is it possible to do it by December then? Yeah, by our next meeting?
We
I
can
don't see
hope.
why not, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Depends how the drafting goes.
How are you gonna get a special? That's what you have to do.
We could have a special,
It's gonna be hard to get people in December.
Well, look,
You don't really need a special, because you still have one more physical.
Yeah, we
Chairman,
can just
right?
plan
And
for
it
the
would go
next
to the
physical.
year end.
right, December physical.
We'll go to the year end.
Let's work on it so we can get it Merry done. Christmas, a new ag That's right. resolution, I think we need to work on it quickly, and
Yeah, but remember, Christmas trees are an agricultural product.
that's right.
I,
Yes.
a lot of work has gone into
Mhm.
this over the years.
Yes, by a lot of people.
Yes.
By you guys, Barbara, Cassandra, the Ag Board, our legislative council, who is, right, thank you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anything else on this issue?
I
Yes.
just want to make one point, and I just want the public to realize that these are agricultural businesses who provide food and resources to our communities. They generate sales tax, they have a product, and I think Putnam County is very supportive of farming, and we need to make sure that we get this right for our farming businesses here in Putnam County.
By December.
Just in time for growth.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
But
Thank you.
before we go, there's one other item which I'd like to add as other business, and it's a constituent issue. I'd like to add that because it probably needs to be discussed in executive session, so I'd like to make a motion to add constituent issue. Do I have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So now, at 8:02, I'm going to make a motion to go into, yes,
Made a motion to add other business?
add other business.
And I need a
And now
motion
I'm
to-
going to make a motion to go
Okay, I
into
thought you
executive
were doing
session
To discuss.
to discuss both of these items. We may have to change some of the roster once we're in there, but okay.
If you need any clarity on what the items are.
Say, make a motion at 8:03 to go into executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
just threw one on my way out.
Good.
Make a motion to come out of executive session at 8:29. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, 2 issues were discussed. No action was taken. Okay. Being that there's no more other business, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Everyone, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your families, and everybody stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.